Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to tackle a role that's absolutely crucial to a product's success. But honestly, it's one that a lot of people don't fully get, the product marketer. So let's peel back the layers and figure out how these folks build the bridge between a brilliant idea and a massive market success.
Okay, let me start with a question for you. I want you to really think about this. Why do some genuinely amazing, well-engineered products just kind of fizzle out? You know the ones I'm talking about. The features are there, the tech is solid, but they just never catch on. What is going on there? Well, more often than not, it comes down to this: a gap, a huge disconnect between the thing that was built and the actual human beings who are supposed to use it and love it. I mean, the product could be a masterpiece, but if the market doesn't get why it's great, it's like a genius whispering in a hurricane. And that, right there, brings us to the hero of our story. This whole explainer is about the people who dedicate their careers to building that bridge, the product marketers. So, before we really get into what these bridge builders do, let's spend a second on the chasm they're trying to cross. We need to understand this product market gap. So, at its very core, this is product marketing. It is the strategic glue that holds everything together. And what's so cool is that it's this amazing two-way street. Internally, they are the voice of the customer, making sure the real-world needs get heard by the people building the product. And then they turn right around and become the voice of the product to the outside world, telling its story. All right, so to really get what a product marketer is, it's actually just as important to talk about what they're not. Let's get super clear and define this role. You know, when you hear the word marketing, your mind probably jumps to big, flashy Super Bowl ads or those viral social media campaigns, right? And yeah, product marketers totally work with those teams, but their job is, well, it's something else entirely. It is not brand marketing and it is not growth marketing. And this table just lays it all out so perfectly. See, brand marketing is all about perception and identity. They're looking at things like brand awareness and net promoter score. Growth marketing, they're laser focused on getting new customers in the door, so they're measuring customer acquisition cost and conversion rates. But then you look at product marketing. Their whole world is different. Their focus is positioning, messaging, and driving usage. They're measured on adoption, are people actually using the product, and retention, are they sticking around, and win rate, are we beating the competition? It's about so much more than just getting the first click. Okay, so if they're not just brand marketing or growth marketing, then where in the world do they actually sit in a company? Well, they're the central connector. Seriously, the best way to think about a product marketer is like the hub of a giant wheel. They sit right there in the middle, at the intersection of everything. They're the ones making sure all the spokes, product, sales, customer success, you name it, are all spinning in the same direction when it's time to go to market. And these are the major spokes we're talking about. They're in constant conversation with product management, feeding them all that juicy customer feedback so they build the right stuff. Then they pivot and arm the sales team with the stories and tools, like battle cards, they need to actually win deals. They work with customer success to make sure users are happy, and they coordinate with demand gen on campaigns. They are the ultimate cross-functional athletes. All right, so we get what they do, we get where they sit, but the big question is, how do they actually do it? How do they build that bridge? Let's open up the PMM toolkit. So here it is. This is basically their 5-step playbook. And it really flows one thing leading right into the next. It all has to start with customer research. You gotta know who you're building for. That insight lets you create your positioning and messaging. From there, you build your launch plan, the go-to-market strategy, and you create the tools for sales. And holding it all together, the 5th tool is that constant cross-functional collaboration. And you know, that second step, positioning, it all boils down to answering these 3 monster questions. Before a single ad gets made, the product marketer has to nail these down. This isn't just fluffy copy. This is the absolute strategic foundation for the entire product story. Get this wrong, and the whole thing just crumbles. So once you have that story, you build the battle plan. That's your go-to-market strategy, or GTM. This is the official playbook. It lays out exactly who you're going after, your target persona, what success even looks like, your key messages, and the channels you're going to use to reach them. This is how you go from an idea to a real coordinated launch.
Okay, I know this can all feel a little theoretical, so let's make it super real. Let's look at a couple of absolute legends and see these storytellers in action out in the wild.
Just look at these two. Absolutely brilliant. Think about it. Apple could have just said, hey, we've got a 12-megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture. But who cares? Instead, they sold the dream, the emotional outcome, shot on iPhone. And Slack. They didn't sell you a real-time messaging platform. No way. They sold the solution to a problem everyone has, where work happens. They made themselves the cure for email chaos. That's just masterful. And this is the big takeaway, the thing I really want you to remember. The best in the business get this. People don't buy features, they don't buy specs. They buy a story. They buy a solution. They buy a better version of themselves. And product marketing is the art and the science of telling that story. So, I want to leave you with this. Right now, think of a product you absolutely love. Could be your phone, your favorite app, your running shoes, whatever. Now ask yourself, beyond all the features, what's the story it's telling you? Because once you start to see the stories behind the products, you'll start seeing the invisible hand of a great product marketer absolutely everywhere.